Hello, welcome to Math Center. I'm Mrs. Agee, and I'm very excited for this year. This is the very beginning of your training, and if you're with me in room 217, you can tell I'm probably doing two different things at one time, and that's tough. So while I'm teaching geometry or SAT prep, you'll be listening to these videos, reading some information, and this is how we'll get started. Our times where I can sit with you and answer questions and chat with you will be brief, but you are important, and I will make sure that I will somehow build in time to chat with you before I send you off to tutoring. On the screen, you'll see my contact information, my email address, classroom, phone number, and extension. And I'll give you more information if that changes, but you need to write this down. Somewhere in your Math Center notebook, which I do expect you to have with you every day, this contact information needs to be in there because I need to know what's going on if you're going to be out. I might even need to be able to get in touch with you, so I'll get back with you about getting information on how to do that. If you want my cell number, see me at the end of class. Now I want you to take a minute or two and read this little excerpt from our syllabus, and then I'll talk with you a little bit more. So take a few minutes and read that. Veteran tutors, pay attention. There's some changes coming this year, as there probably will be over the next couple of years as this tutoring program develops and grows. There's going to be several brief intro videos, and then there's going to be some information, papers you need to read. All of you pay attention to these papers. There will be an assessment of whether you've read these or not and you understand the tutoring ethics and responsibilities. And there will probably be some other videos to watch. This is an honors course, and as such, it's not totally for free, even though you may have heard from friends or peers that this is just a piece of cake and it's wonderful to work in this program, but there's some work you're going to have to do. I do expect you to conduct yourself as an honors student at all times. You are to be responsible and organized at all times. And we'll talk more about this as this goes on. You are not free and unsupervised. You're going to be very supervised, but you're going to have freedoms, and I do expect you to handle it in a mature manner. This is also a small piece from the syllabus. And class rules, whatever, that sounds pretty tight, but here's what's really important as you conduct yourself as a tutor all the time. Respect and value of yourself and others, I can't talk about that enough. You're really important, and you are going to impact other people in ways you haven't even thought of before. And you won't even realize it sometimes till 2 days later or a week later or at the end of a semester when these other students have suddenly done so much better and couldn't have done it without you and the impact you've had. Appropriate self-management. And sometimes as you hit your senior year or junior, whatever year you're in, you get that freedom feeling, that teenage-itis feeling. Control it, because you really don't have wings and you can't fly alone. So there are responsibilities about where you are and what you're doing. Awareness of others and consideration of others, I can't speak to that enough either. And you are accepted to follow the acceptable use policy for computers or tablets. And listen to me carefully. You are not ever to be on your cell phone when you are tutoring or in a classroom as a tutor. And I'm kind of saying it that way because in the past it's gotten a little bad. But you know what? We're no longer on that pod campus atmosphere. So, hey, we're going to conduct ourselves as professional tutors as best we can. I want to talk very quickly about supplies. I do expect you to have a 3-ring binder or folder. It's always good to have a flash drive. You need notebook paper, graph paper, pencils or pens, colored pencils and or highlighters and markers. Not totally necessary, but I think you'll find them very useful for when you are modeling note-taking in class. Now, this 3-ring binder. I do want you to have one, and there should be 3 sections. One section is for any Math Center notes and handouts, which you're going to get after you finish looking at these intro videos. And I want them to stay in there. You're going to need to actually study them because I'll give you forewarning, there's actually a quiz next week on some of the information. So that's one section. Put it in the front, back, middle, I don't care where you have it, but you need to have these inserts I'm going to give you, this information, these papers to refer to. Really important, I want you to notice the red arrow. You need a section to keep your log. And this log is your timesheet, and we're going to talk a whole lot about that because the quickest way to actually fail this class is to not be able to keep track of what you're doing. It's a timesheet that needs to be filled out each day as you go through your tutoring activities. You also are going to need a section where you keep graph paper, notebook paper, and or a copy of your the class notes that you're taking with the particular class that you're assigned. And I will talk more about that. So let me summarize briefly for you. You need a notebook. It needs 3 sections. You need to be able to add papers into it easily. That's why I recommend a 3-ring binder. It can be a small one. You are going to carry this notebook with you to the class you tutor in every day. And the teacher that you are assigned to will probably expect to see it. After they see you with it the first couple of days and using it and being organized, they're going to expect to see you with it. And it helps to model the right way to learn in a classroom. So now as we end this video and you move on to the next one, grab the syllabus that has been printed out, and you should see it somewhere in the Math Center area of the room.